This is Valley News Live at 5.
I'm just really hurt for my son because, like, he doesn't have his father now, and it's like it's kind of stressful on me because, like, I really don't want to do this by myself, and I feel like I'm by myself, but then there's so many people that's supporting me.
Dante Wright's family and community groups in the Twin Cities are continuing to demand justice for his death. Former police officer Kim Potter made her first court appearance yesterday and posted a $100,000 bond after being arrested on Wednesday. She's charged with second-degree manslaughter and what her chief said appeared to be a case of confusing her taser with her handgun. Wright's family is demanding more severe charges against her.
But second-degree manslaughter is not okay. I'm not okay with that. That's not right. She murdered my son. My son is never going to come home. She gets to sit on a police pension right now while my son is going to be buried in a few days, and that's not okay.
A candlelight vigil honoring Dante Wright will be held tonight in downtown Fargo, and ESU's Black Lives Matter chapter and members of the community organize the vigil. It's happening at Island Park at 7:30 this evening. A flyer for the event says that people can bring their own candle or buy one at the vigil. A leader of Black Lives Matter says the proceeds will go to pay for bail for those arrested at recent protests and help buy food and water for those protesters. The Cass County Sheriff's Office is adding a less lethal use of force option for their deputies. It's called the BOLA wrap. It's an 8-foot tether that entangles someone by using little force, as you can see in this video. The Sheriff's Department purchased 3 of the wrap systems and are now working on training and setting guidelines before starting to use the devices in the coming weeks. It's not a day where you want to take the top off the convertible, unless you, well, some people might, but maybe this weekend, though. Before we get to that, let's find out how this evening looks. Nathan?
You know, Andrea, honestly, if you want to take the top off the convertible, I wouldn't judge. I would actually support that.
Yes.
Things look to stay dry for us. A little bit on the brisk side, though, so maybe if you're driving, maybe a bit of a wind chill with that convertible down. But you can see some clouds still in our Luther Family Ford Skycam, but by and large, things are dry for us in Fargo-Moorhead. And I'm watching very carefully this patch of green on the radar. I've been watching surface observations all afternoon to see if any observing sites are reporting rainfall under these green blobs here. Have seen a few spots, so we'll call this not quite as widespread, but more scattered rainfall activity, and it is light rain at that. So not expecting too many impacts from your from this for your Friday evening, but you may see some of those raindrops there in Jamestown, Valley City, toward the Page and Edgeley areas as well. But by and large, things again look to stay quiet for us for the evening. But where we see some more clear sky is areas like Detroit Lakes, Wadena, where those temperatures are in the lower to middle 50s, 56 right now in Alexandria, but 52 in Fargo. It's coolest off in North Dakota, where we have had those clouds and a few spotty showers. But Andrea, we'll talk about the top down weekend for Saturday with the top back up for Sunday. So we'll break that down coming up.
As I said it, I thought there's somebody out there who wants that top down today.
There's gotta be.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Nathan.
Yeah.
Police are searching for suspects who they say were involved in an armed robbery. It happened around 7:15 this morning in the 1100 block of Park Avenue in Bemidji. A woman was approached by 3 men and 1 woman in her backyard. The suspects allegedly had a pistol and a shotgun. They took her purse, coat, wallet, and cell phone and took off in a blue SUV. The woman believes she knows most of the suspects, and police say there doesn't appear to be a threat to the public. Police have already spoken to one of the alleged suspects. Police in the Southern Valley need your help finding the driver of this SUV. They say the driver was following a parent and a child who was being picked up from school. The incident happened last Thursday when the driver followed them to the Blazer Express gas station in Breckenridge. When the family left, the driver went the other way. If you have any other information, call police. North Dakota roads have been safer at least 800 times thanks to the ND Sober Ride program. The program is aimed at keeping impaired drivers off the road through Lyft vouchers. The program just started last month to coincide with St. Patrick's Day, and they provided 800 Lyft rides in March. The vouchers will be offered during holidays or events where someone may drink too much. ND's Sober Ride will eventually expand to smaller communities across the state. You can find more information on our website, valleynewslive.com. Around the nation, investigators are on the scene of another mass shooting, this time at a FedEx facility near the Indianapolis airport. 8 people were killed, 5 wounded. Investigators say the gunman was a 19-year-old former employee of the facility who committed suicide as police arrived. Reporter Wendy Woolfolk has the story.
Witnesses say the shooting started in the parking lot.
He started shouting and then he started firing at random directions.
The deadly attack continued as he moved inside.
When officers arrived, they found a very chaotic and active crime scene.
8 victims dead, 5 more wounded.
This is awful. This is awful.
It ended, according to police, with the gunman taking his own life.
What we are left with this morning is grief. Grief for the families of those killed. Grief for the employees who have lost their co-workers.
Investigators say it's way too early to speculate on a motive. They're still gathering evidence inside the massive FedEx facility. They have identified the shooter. He's 19-year-old Brandon Scott Hull.
FedEx officials have confirmed that Mr. Hull was a former employee at the facility and he was last employed in 2020.
Federal agents expanding their search to his home as another community mourns what is now the 5th mass shooting in the U.S. in just the last 5 weeks.
Meanwhile, federal prosecutors have scored their first guilty plea in the Capitol riot cases. John Schaefer of Indiana, the man on the right wearing blue, is pleading guilty to unlawfully entering Congress and obstructing an official proceeding. Schaefer is accused of being a longtime member of the Oath Keepers. He turned himself into the FBI on January 17th. In tonight's coronavirus coverage, it's rare, but hundreds of Minnesotans who have been vaccinated against COVID-19 still came down with the illness. The Department of Health has tracked 561 of these so-called breakthrough cases so far. Of those, 66 have been hospitalized and 6 people have died. Data shows that the vaccines are highly effective, but it's still unclear how well they protect against the more contagious variants. Health officials say while it is concerning, it is important to consider the context of 561 breakthrough cases compared to nearly 1.5 million Minnesotans who are now fully vaccinated. The pandemic has seriously impacted learning across the nation this year. To make up for lost time lost in the classroom, Fargo Public Schools is offering more summer school options for students. There will be an extra semester available to all students at no extra cost. The district is offering pickup services to help parents get kids to and from school. For middle and high school, Friday classes will be online. The district says they've seen enrollment numbers double compared to last summer.
They could pick one semester virtual where the student could access it from multiple states, even countries away, and then be back the following month and come on campus because they want to have that grounding with face-to-face with peers and a teacher.
We have the full list of options on our website. You can download the VNL News app to learn how to sign up. A wheelchair-bound 6th grader at Detroit Lakes Middle School is typically content with watching the pickup football games every day at recess. But yesterday, he asked to get in the game. His fellow students couldn't have been more excited. We'll have the heartwarming story tonight, only on Valley News Live at 6. Still to come, a local car club wants to show you what its members have been working on for months, sometimes years. We've got a sneak peek of antique, vintage, and special interest vehicles a little later in the show.
And for your Friday evening plans around Fargo, expecting those clouds to hang on for us for this evening. Temperatures, though, staying fairly mild, only cooling into those middle 30s by the midnight hour. North winds calming down a little bit as well to around 10 miles per hour. And then for our friends in Grand Forks, expecting lower 30s by midnight, but we'll break down that weekend next.